TorahCafe.com.
Why gluten-free? Some people are doing it frivolously, forgetting everything else. So let me just first put in a disclaimer, two disclaimers actually. This is clearly a trend, a fad. So everybody's jumping on it. Oh, let me just be like in 5 years ago it was, or 10 years ago it was low carb, low carb, low carb. I remember a very cute line in The Devil Wears Prada. The girl is despising her co-worker because she saw her eat carbs. She eats carb. I saw her with my own eyes. That's right. That was the crime of du jour. Now the crime du jour is you eating gluten. Nothing wrong with gluten. Let's just first say this. The only people that should not have gluten at all, I think I'm going to take this off to be more comfortable, is the people who will be very hurt if they have gluten, i.e. people with celiac disease. Only those. Other people are encouraged, or should be encouraged, and you'll see my book is chock full of that. Explore, explore, explore with other grains. It so happens that a lot of other grains have no gluten. Never had, never will. So, of course you should, because it's good for you. Just because it's good for you. That's number one disclaimer. Number two, in the manufacturer's haste and craziness and all gung-ho-ness, did I just coin a new, to go gluten-free, they're not worried at all about, is it healthy? Who do you think is on the biggest bandwagon for gluten-free? Coca-Cola, for God's sake. The great news is it has no gluten whatsoever. They're right about that. But the very bad news that they're not telling, not even in any font, in any size, high fructose corn syrup, all the things that will kill you. All the sugar, artificial or natural, it's unbelievable. So, if people would explore with gluten-free grains intelligently, then it would be, but you still have something to do. Look for it intelligently. Let's see all the things we're going to do today, because I'm worried about your nutrition. We're making something approaching a complete meal. Bread rolls, challah rolls, pizza, muffins, cookies, soup and salads. Let me start by saying one more thing before I leave the subject of the mission statement. It's the problem of people who want to make it fit that have a problem with the flavor and everything. And this is why we put all the other chazarite, because we want gluten-free bread to look like challah. It never will. Never will. Kiss it goodbye. Let your guests have it. It only works if you give it such a shape as will not suffer in the absence of rising. And what might that be? The roll. Innocent roll. This will look okay. This will not look okay. It's not going anywhere. So don't try it. Just that if they were doing it with sechel, and if the people at the receiving end were reading through it with sechel, they would say, how can it rise? It's not going anywhere. Why make challah? How is it going to be? Horrible. Unless you put all those chemicals that make it look, it's going to look like an enhancement of some sort, you know what I mean? It's not yours. It's going to look like silicone and probably taste like silicone. So, all the breads we're making today are either muffins or rolls or pizza. Pizza is fine. It's not going anywhere. It's flat and it's not going anywhere. Cookies never needed to have any gluten. Right? Okay, the first thing I want to do is get this, I think she put gloves on my, is soup, this soup. So all I have here is water. I'm going to take out a little bit more. Let me say, this soup, and Helen Chayamina knows this very well. We brought her because we needed to document the fact that she wrote a story of my cookbook in the Jewish press this week. So yeah, it's right there, and it's on my blog too. she makes pea soup that she loves, and that was what went into the story. But in my book, I have tons and tons of soups, no end of soups, that get made in 2 minutes. Just look at this. Most of them that take 2 minutes are not ground. They just go all aboard, and when they're done, they get creamed. But this one, I want it to be a little chunky, and I want the lentils to show. So I'm doing parsley, typically Moroccan. Look at this. Parsley, cilantro, celery, onion. It cannot be simpler. Okay, let me say a word about why I'm putting oil. In your desire to make it lean, you might say, oh, I don't need the oil. You need an emulsion. I, as it is, not asking you to go anywhere near the powders and the this and the that. I see a lot of kosher magazines have sprouted up, and they tell you 2 cups of broth. Any question? Where's the broth? How did it end in the recipe? Is it a powder? Is it a can? Is it something I have to make? If I have to make it, did you tell me? No. So I think because it sounds so bad to say a bouillon cube, we know now that it's on the hit list, so we tell you broth. Like hamevin yavin, you know. But where? Where is it coming from? So this is it just cannot happen. Anything to get you to think about the ingredients you are ingesting, cooking, serving, that is what I want. Everything I'm going to give you, give it back to me. You see that? How much work is this? In 5 minutes, I'm doubling this recipe. In 5 minutes, I'm sending this soup on its way. Not even 5 minutes. I'm sending the soup on its way, and I will have enough for 30 servings. No kidding, 30 servings. Throw the lentils in. Measure 2/3 of a cup of olive oil. Emulsion. This is what we want. This is why we want oil in our soup. I don't have broth. I don't have stock. I don't have anything. I only have one thing. Oil. I'm asking you, do not remove it or your soup will be boring. This. 2/3. Here you have 1/3. This is Marina. Okay. Marina, we did a one gig that was really fun, right? This year. What was it? Metro West was treating the New Jersey, or the northern upper New Jersey division was treating their volunteers to a day out. And they had this and a show at a Jewish museum. Celery, I instruct you to peel it, just like you would peel a carrot. Look. Why? Because the fiber is acrid, bitter. When you take it off, you are much more encouraged to eat it. It's 0 calories, good for you, full of minerals. Pulse, so it doesn't get too watery. So far, not a word about that gluten-free. What happened? Did I forget? No. Very good. What else? How much turmeric goes in? Turmeric, just 2 teaspoons, 4 teaspoons. And we have it, I believe, yeah? Look, all I'm doing is putting in everything that's here, Marina. Turmeric, 4 teaspoons. Here's your, I'm still going, cutting everything. 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon. That will be, yeah. I love this set, this magnetic set. For people like me, and probably like you, they just stick together. You can't lose them, they won't let you. Tomorrow kosher fast. Who's going? Any one of you going? You going? I'll see you there. I'm on the panel. Are you going? You babysitting? But tomorrow there is a panel, a fun panel. Question and answers. Okay. The amount of salt. rule of thumb to start with. Err on the side of less because you can add 1 tablespoon per gallon is what you should start with. That will end up being like a good pinch per person. 1, 2, and almost 3. Not completely. So we have 8. Each can is, scrape it real good. Look. Scrape it real good in. I found this new, it's not a new brand, but it's a new product. Chunky, very chunky crushed tomatoes. Meaning more tomatoes, less broth, less juice. 2 and 2/3 of this. That will be 8 cups exact. Very nice. And we'll be done with the soup. Yeah, 2/3, very good. And you have the oil, and you have everything. We're still missing the salt.
Onions.
And that's it. You're going to find the cover, Marina. You'll find the cover. I want you to appreciate, I have 1 machine, 1 utensil. I didn't saute anything. This is what I call the simplest soups. And I'm doing it, right? No contradiction there. Look. Joe, I'm going to ask you a big favor. Put this in the front. In the center, I will show you. But just I wanted to get it on its way because it's a large amount. Where are you? Yeah, I'm going to take it in a minute. As soon as I have my onions in. Look. Let me just cut them in 4. Just to give it a head start. 1. I gave a demo last week in some place where they had a fabulous, very inexpensive set of knives, multicolored knife. A Costco, she said. It was wonderful. You know it? It was in a very good, fun stand. Marina, take off the cover until I put in the onion. Everything in the machine, everything. In all the demos I give, I don't show you how to cut. Is that fair? Yes, because I'm showing you how to do it, even if you are not a talented cook. The talented cook knows what to do. I'm talking to the one who said, but it's too hard, but I have to wash the machine. But yeah. Very simple. Here, I'm going to have still 1-2 batches. Look how much. This is for 1 second, don't cover. I still have onions. How many onions did I instruct you to put in? 2 large, 4 large, meaning 6 medium. Now, if I ever think I was a good choice for a teacher, now I think I'm a fantastic choice for a teacher, for a good reason. Not so much because I'm a good teacher, although I hope I am, but because as I get older, I say, who needs it? Who needs it? Not only in my cooking or in my teaching or in my dressing, or my streamline. Just let the real thing emerge and we will be okay. So I streamline everything. I streamline the list of ingredients, streamline the list of tools, I streamline the preparation steps, everything. To begin with, it was always simple. Now it's ridiculously simple. This is why I think you will all love my cookbook. By the way, it's getting redone, but still, if you call this your summer copy or your vacation copy or your Passover copy, you will be very pleased because the content is all there. Okay, question. Oh, I don't have my salt yet. How hard was this? Was this hard? Okay. Another thing I wanted to say, when you look for, I don't want to say to be mean-spirited, look out for your recipe and see if the recipe, I heard the gasp. I count about a tablespoon of salt per gallon. This is more than 2 gallons. So let's say I have 2 recipes. I say that this is 1 tablespoon. See, when you do it often enough, if you're afraid that you will just end up with a half a pound clump of salt, don't do it like me. But I know. Not because I'm a wizard, but because I did it so many times. Very nice. Okay. Embark this. Done deal.